Where some spaza shop owners are worried that they may not be able to meet the 21-day deadline to re-register their establishments, as announced by President Cyril Ramaphosa. They want government to extend the deadline by 3 months, hoping this will give them time to make the necessary arrangements. Newzroom Afrika's Katleho Sekhotho is there and joins us live. Kat, many issues being brought about by those spaza shop owners. What are some of the other expectations or challenges they are likely to face in this re-registration process over the next 3 weeks?
Hugo, that's right. Quite a tricky situation in terms of the many spaza shops around here in Mamelodi really trying to make efforts to make sure that they register within the 21-day frame that the president has set out, and many of them expressing that they never knew even the process to begin with, and so many of them running for almost up to 12 years unregistered and undocumented and obviously not complying with the law. And this whole conversation, as we know, has been sparked by the deaths of 6 children in Naledi, and subsequent to that, several other food contamination cases that have come out, and government trying to take urgent interventions to make sure that spaza shops are complying, and that making sure that health inspectors, environmental officials as well, go into stores, as well as SAPS officials going into shops to checking that people are adhering to the law. So quite a challenge in that way. But right now I'm at the Cheapside Wholesalers, which is a wholesaler supplying some of the spaza shops who buy here, and then they sell the goods from here. So I want to bring into the conversation here Zwane to give us more details. Zwane, thank you for your time. I mean, just take us through this whole issue. Where do you think the problem begins, from manufacturer to wholesaler to then the spaza shop vendor, street vendor? Where do you think things go wrong in that value chain?
To be honest good afternoon, and thanks for the opportunity. We are also worried here. We would have loved to understand, for an example, knowing this story of the insecticides, we would have loved to understand the scenario as to what have happened, so that poisonous substance can get into, for example, ipakete yamazimba. We are all concerned as parents, we are all concerned as business people about the death, and condolences to the young life that passed away. We're all concerned about it, and we want to also participate in the solutions that something like this should never happen again. So unfortunately, I'm not sure what has happened or what scenario, but we want to participate and assist where possible here to make sure that something like this doesn't happen again. Yeah. And it's wrong for people to sell those dangerous products as well. Absolutely. Yeah.
Now, Zwane, I mean, we've been speaking to a number of the store owners here in Mamelodi, and they say they are not registered, many of them. They don't even know the process of registration. I imagine as a wholesaler, perhaps the registration process is slightly different, but just take us through your process of registering, so perhaps it can inform at least, or give an idea to someone who's running a spaza shop where they should go to make sure that they're registered.
We are familiar with the process because we are not only wholesaler here. We also have a group under the banner of Formalized Business Alliance that has members who owns businesses around here from various sectors, and we have a very good relationship with the municipality. So the process differs from the kind of business you do. For an example, if you are preparing food, you need to prove that you've been through a food handling course, and it also takes time and money. So if you are a spaza shop, you sell prepared food, the requirements are quite different. But be as it may, the 21 days, we think it is not feasible. I'll give you an example. I'll take you back to the days of COVID. When there was COVID, at least there was the basis of the law there. You knew what you were supposed to do, and there were temporary trading permits. In this instance, we're not too sure. The municipalities don't have capacity. The 21 days we don't think is enough. We are not too sure, come 21 days, what will happen. What happens is the municipality, if you go and apply for a trading permit, they will give you proof of application. Then once you have that proof of application, they will send an inspector to come with their checklist. And if you are preparing food, the certain things that they'll want. For example, they'll ask for a extractor fan. Extractor fan, it's a serious capex. It will need something like 45,000 rands. How are you going to get it and comply? You know what? Because think about it. Most of the people went to informal sector. Either they were retrenched, they have not worked. It's a form of employment. And we don't have big budgets. We don't have big budgets to be able to do all those capex that are required. But the process, it is like that. And luckily from us, like I've told you, we are an association. From FBA as an association, we have our independent consultants who can interact with the inspector. For example, an inspector, when he says, look, I need this, it is not cast in stone. But any person who has a shop does not know how to interact with them. Will just take that requirement. But our inspectors, our consultant can say, okay, instead of an extractor fan, can you look at an alternative, which sometimes is cost less than what is required. So the 21 days, I don't think they've consulted enough. Because I think the president should have consulted with the people on the ground, so that we become part of the solution. Because this is happening right here in our space, so that we become part of the solution. And so I think they should have taken this as an opportunity to really everyone behind, create jobs, capacitate people who can also help into this thing. I'm worried about the lack of capacity. The municipalities are on record, especially the city of Joburg and the city of Ekhuleng. They are on record as saying they don't have enough health inspectors. And now we have these 21 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll leave it there for now, Babzwane. Thank you so much for your time. So certainly, Hugo, you hear it there that perhaps the sentiment, even amongst a wholesaler, saying 21 days is not feasible, and that perhaps more time is needed and more community involvement in the registration of spaza shops.